Hello and welcome. It's funny how some of the most powerful stories are also the shortest. Today, we're going to dive into one from ancient China. It's a whole lesson on human nature, captured in just 4 simple characters.
So here on the screen, you can see the idiom itself. Hua She Tian Zu. This is what's known as a chengyu. Think of it like a tiny, elegant piece of narrative code. It packs an entire story into just 4 symbols. So let's decode it together, character by character.
The first character you see is Hua, and it's pronounced Hua. It means to draw or to paint. You can almost imagine the stroke of a brush, just bringing an image to life. Hua. Next up, we have She, pronounced She. This one's simple. It just means a snake. So if we put those first 2 together, we get an action and a subject. Hua She, to draw a snake.
Okay, our third character is Tian, pronounced Tian. This means to add on or to supplement. It's that act of putting something extra on top of what's already there. Tian.
And finally, the last character, Jiao, pronounced Zu. This one means feet or legs. So let's put it all together now. The literal meaning is Hua She Tian Zu, to draw a snake and then add feet to it. But why would anyone do that? To get the real meaning, we have to hear the story behind the phrase. And for that, we need to travel way back in time. We're going to the Warring States period of ancient China, a time of a lot of conflict, but also a time of incredible creativity and deep thinking. And this really gets to the heart of the puzzle, doesn't it? What could possibly be so wrong about adding a little extra detail? Why did this very specific act, drawing feet on a snake, turn into a cautionary tale that's been told for thousands of years?
Well, the story starts pretty simply. There's a group of attendants, and there's a prize. As you can see, it's a single jug of wine. Not really enough for everyone to share, but a pretty nice reward for one person. So their master comes up with a contest, a simple challenge. He says, everyone draw a snake on the ground. The first one to finish gets the wine.
All right, so the race is on, and one of the men is just incredibly fast. In just a few moments, his snake is done. It's perfect. The race is over, he's won. The prize is right there, totally within his grasp. But then he stops. He looks around at his friends, and they're all still struggling with their drawings, and this wave of arrogance just washes over him. He grabs the wine with one hand, keeps his drawing stick in the other, and he boasts, "Look how fast I am. I've got so much time, I can even add feet to my snake."
And right then and there, he starts adding these completely unnecessary details, little feet on a creature that doesn't have any. But in that moment of showing off, another man quietly finishes his own drawing, a simple, correct snake. Now this second man doesn't hesitate for a second. He walks right over, snatches the wine from the first man, and says, "A snake has no feet. How can you add them?" And with that, he drinks the wine, leaving the first man with absolutely nothing but his overly detailed and now totally wrong drawing.
Just think about that for a second. The first guy had already won. The prize was literally in his hand. But because he tried to perfect something that was already finished, he lost everything. So when you really break it down, you see this huge contrast. The second man, the wise one, he just did what was asked. He finished the task, he did it right, and he claimed his reward. The first man, though, he just didn't know when to stop. And his attempt to add that little something extra, something completely unnecessary, cost him everything. And that is the heart of Hua She Tian Zu. It's all about ruining something by adding an unnecessary flourish. It's a bit like the English phrase, gilding the lily. It's when you do something extra that isn't just a waste of time, it actually makes the whole thing worse.
Of course, this isn't just some ancient story about drawings and wine. It's about a very human tendency, a tendency that is just as real for us today as it was for those guys drawing in the dirt thousands of years ago. So the lesson of Hua She Tian Zu is really all about knowing when to stop. It's this timeless warning against that little voice that says, just one more thing. It teaches us to see that exact moment when our helpful efforts actually start to become harmful.
And you really do see this all the time. Think about a modern office. You could so easily say something like, the presentation was finished, but he just kept adding more and more data. It was a classic case of Hua She Tian Zu. It just ended up confusing the client. He added feet to the snake.
Learn Chinese, one story at a time.